Everything around you fades to the blackness behind your eyes. 1. Full control of your body. 0. You're awake to me. You'll return to reality now.
They could look like a person, an object, an animal, or even something as abstract as the physical representation of an emotion. Thought forms can also take on appearances that could be considered disturbing, like a creature one might see in a childhood nightmare.
The most disturbing moments from the Greylock analog horror series. In this video, I will explore the most uncomfortable moments that make the Greylock videos popular. It was one of the moments so vile that I almost decided not to put it in the video due to its disgusting nature. So we're going to go straight from tape 1 to tape 2, because I didn't find anything personally interesting about the first tape. So jumping right into tape 002, To the Mountain, we're introduced to Mr. Camera. That's not his name, but from my knowledge, we're never given his name formally, so this fellow will be referred to as Mr. Camera for the remaining time. He's driving through a forest while listening to the gospel on the radio. Mr. Camera eventually stops at an abandoned site, presumably Mountain Greylock. There's a gate, stopping his car from proceeding forward, and the gravel roads upwards are pushing the metal and the trees out of the way, fences surrounding the area. Side note, I'm tired of seeing people wandering the woods with a camera. I don't think anyone on earth says to themselves, I'm completely creeped out by this area, so let me Dora explore this place with a camera. Nope, never. This is when the story starts to get more unnerving, because after a few moments, we transition into Mr. Camera finding trails of blood on the ground beneath his feet. This then presumably frightens Mr. Camera, leading him to go back into his car. Our protagonist begins to traverse through the woods in his vehicle once more. There's a peculiar moment when the main character stops driving in the middle of the road and keeps turning on his high beams, leaves it for 3 seconds, turns it off, leaves it for 3 seconds, then turns it on again, and then continues with this process. Now I'm beginning to get a little bit spooked, because what is he trying to look for? Why doesn't he just leave the high beams on if the purpose is to be able to see better? That's the problem. Our protagonist isn't trying to see better, so now I'm suspicious of figuring it out. What is this man trying to do?
Our hearts, within our minds, in a place most people don't even know exists within themselves. The devil is gonna call to those depths, dear believer. And though you may tremble before the beast, you should make it easier on yourself and accept what it is that he bestows upon you.
The clip ends with Mr. Camera speeding away from the threat, while the religious preacher can be heard proselytizing on the radio in the background. This was a very well done scare. Although I did anticipate a scare to come, I didn't think it would be able to spook me, because I thought it would be a monster that showed up in the light. The next moment in tape 003, Orientation Protocols, isn't as frightening as the knocking on the windshield, but has a special place in my heart for one of the most insidious moments within this series. The tape is an introductory tape to the Project Stargate initiative. Project Stargate is the study of parapsychology being conducted by Group 13. Don't worry, I didn't know what the hell parapsychology was either, until my buddy Google let me know. On Google, it says that parapsychology is the study of mental phenomena such as hypnosis and telepathy. After you're informed about Group 13 and Project Stargate, you are then introduced to the thought form. A thought form manifests a person's will, thoughts, emotions, or any other deeply energized state in a semi-physical form. In layman's terms, it's a ghost created by an individual's emotional state. The greatest minds in consciousness and modern technology have all come together to create the thought form manifester the tape then celebrates. The device can create truly independent thought, forms of a select person who's operating in the machine. Expounding more on the thought form manifester, we are then given what I've personally deemed as the most insidious moment in the Greylock series so far. take a look.
Minds of select, willing participants. Being that they come from the deepest recesses of the human mind, thought forms can appear in virtually any configuration. They could look like a person, an object, an animal, or even something as abstract as the physical representation of an emotion. That being said, it's recommended to brace yourself before touring the thought form chambers, as thought forms can also take on appearances that could be considered disturbing, like a creature one might see in a childhood nightmare.
I know those will disagree, saying that this moment isn't as scary as I'm making it out to be, but contrary to my friend, because this is the instance in which the series monster is not only introduced, but explained in great detail. Okay, if you don't like that, I know you'll love this next moment. This one is tape 004, Unexpected Visitors. This tape starts swiftly, showing us the inside of the thought form chambers discussed in the previous tape. We then jump back to the perspective of everyone's #1 favourite main character, Mr. Camera. He's wandering through the woods like usual, looking at structures like a shed. Then all of a sudden, Buddy starts training to open a window of a home. Something that I find exciting that this series does is that it cloaks what you're seeing with your eyes with the darkness of the film around you. For instance, in the first tape, we inspect the inside of a building, but you can't make out the rooms because the dimness of the light of the room itself covers it. This series instrumentalized the lack of light to create mystery. But anyway, after a few fumbles, Mr. Camera manages to get the window open. He enters the home and continues to intrude. Suddenly, the screen goes dark and this happens. We then cut Mr. Camera outside again with a flashlight. He ends the section by aiming the camera at the moon. While watching an episode of Max Headroom, we're then interrupted by an EBS, the Emergency Broadcasting System. We are told that this broadcasting system will be taking over the current channel, and that they will be giving you current news, official information news, and instruction for Northern Berkshire County, Massachusetts. The EBS tells us 49 residents have been victims of breaking. The recording then gives us information on how to protect against these attacks. Lock your doors, close your blinds, and gather and secure your local home or decrease the likelihood of your house being perpetrated. You are informed that every person should get to a secure location, and if you are currently listening to this broadcast while not in the secure location, you must return to safe areas. It has police station protection. Advise you to please stay in a secure area until the threat has been resolved. Additionally, the police are unable to identify any of the individuals that are breaking. Abruptly, we cut back to Mr. Camera, looking out the window to take a look. Unfortunately, we have no more information on this tape, and we move to the next one. We continue to the next tape titled Tape 005. Not here, not now, not anymore. This video starts with two women, Tiffany and Wanda, in the background of a hospital, talking about the start of parent life. Tiffany, being a newly pregnant mother, gleefully gives the details of her experiences, like telling Wanda what the baby's name is, saying that the baby is clearly strong, and also telling us, the audience, and her ultrasound tech, Wanda, that she's been having difficulty eating. We are unable to see the screen of people or speak. Wanda then puts the gel on Tiffany's stomach, beginning to start of the ultrasound process. Then we can at least see something on the screen and take a look.
There he is. He's definitely a growing boy, that's for sure. And you're both looking really good.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Let's get some measurements to see exactly how much he's thrown.
What was that?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. Maybe something to do with the power.
After this surreal event, you can no longer see the baby within the womb on the ultrasound. Wanda says that this is strange and then reassures Tiffany that this is nothing to worry about, just having trouble finding the baby all of a sudden. She can see everything else just besides the baby. Tiffany gets more anxious the more Wanda tries to calm her down. Wanda then finishes off her conversation by informing us the machine is most likely broken and leaves the room. You then hear Wanda from the other room alarmed by the information that the other doctors are giving her, as the distressed wails of Tiffany can be heard in the background.
What happened?
Tape 5 ends here. At the beginning of this video, we showed you a couple of other vital moments within this series. I didn't show these moments in this video, specifically because I was not sure the amount of engagement that this video would get. In the next video about this series, I will cover the rest of the most disturbing moments of this series in part 2. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video of Jason Disturbo.